The man smashes the bison skeleton with all his strength. Then, starving, immediately digs out the marrow and stuffs it into his mouth, devouring it greedily. Meanwhile, Jack, severely dehydrated, struggles to crawl to the riverbank and trembles as he fills his canteen. But the icy water barely enters his mouth before it leaks out completely through the wound in his throat. After catching his breath, Jack moves to the shore, grabs some dry grass, and pours out the gunpowder he carries. He applies part of it to his wound to stop the bleeding and prevent infection, keeping the rest to use as tinder. He pulls out his fire striker and strikes it again and again. After many attempts, the dry grass finally begins to smoke. A wave of searing pain hits him, and Jack endures it desperately. But in the end, the pain overwhelms him and it passes out. After waking, his survival instinct drives him to continue searching for food. He abandons all dignity, lying prone and digging for roots in the cracks between stones. At that moment, a sound comes from behind him. Several elk are crossing the river, filling Jack with frustration. If only he had a gun, he would not be starving like this. Just as he longs for food, a sudden horse's neigh rings out. He looks up and realizes the enemy is pursuing him. Jack quickly presses himself against the cliff, slips into the water, and curls up behind a rock, hardly daring to breathe. Even so, he is still discovered, knowing full well what awaits him if captured. He uses all his strength to swim toward the center of the river, diving into the freezing water to avoid the arrows. Using the river as cover, Jack escapes the pursuit, but the violent current sweeps him downstream. He struggles desperately toward the shore, but to no avail, battered back and forth by the torrent. Fortunately, he finally manages to cling to a piece of driftwood in a calmer stretch of water. After drifting for a long time, he dares to crawl ashore, soaked to the bone. He trembles violently in the frowning wilderness, yet thankfully remains alive.